What's up, game boys and girls? Big T here, back with another video, and we're going to talk about Microsoft going third party. Yeah, I don't really think that's the case, but let's talk about that. We all know the last few weeks or month has been crazy. Xbox fans, hardcore Xbots, have lost their damn minds because Microsoft decided to put a bunch of nothing on competing consoles. By the way, something they've done before. They put games on Nintendo before. They have games that are owned by them on PlayStation already. But a lot of fans lost their minds because there's a lot of rumors leading up to this reveal of Microsoft going third party. There's a lot of rumors of everything is coming, the whole slate, blah blah blah. And it never seemed sensible to me. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. And turns out that that's not the case. But there's a lot of guys still coping on the Xbox side, thinking that this is just the slippery slope. This is the beginning of the end for Xbox. And I just think it's very silly. And here's why. If you kind of dig into the actual information and what games they actually put out, if you dig into that stuff, you're like, this doesn't really make sense from what they're saying. And it just seems like kind of corporate speak and corporate doing, if you will. So we're talking about the games that are so-called pushing Microsoft third party. This is by their own words. They basically put this out there as maybe some kind of experiment. And they say this is basically kind of an experiment. They're going to check the numbers and see what this means when they put these games out and how well they do. And based on that, they're going to look, going forward, see what they're going to do in the future. And that would make a lot of sense if it wasn't these games. Like, it would make a lot of sense for them to say that and wait and see if it wasn't these games. If you're really trying to make some kind of push, and if you care enough or you have a need, you have to make so much money. Why would you start with these games? Games that some of them Xbox fans barely care about, like Sea of Thieves. That sounds weird, but I'll explain it in a minute. Sea of Thieves and Grounded specifically. Now, these games both have, Sea of Thieves has 35 million players, Grounded has 20 million players or something like that. And it's weird to say, oh, Xbox fans don't care about that. But I'm talking about like core fans, core Xbox guys who are like, and some of them play these games. Don't get it twisted. But these aren't like moving the needle type of games. So it's like, oh yeah, these games are going to sell so well and prove and propel Microsoft to commit more. Because I don't think they're going to sell that well. I think they'll be okay, but you already have 35 million players. You already have 20 million players. A combined 55 million players on these two games. You're not going to get a whole lot of revenue out of that, because most people who wanted to play this game already play it on PC, already play it on Xbox. Sure, you'll pick off a few guys. Let's say a million. Like, that's probably being generous. But like for Grounded, are you gonna get a million Switch players to play Grounded, especially with how it looks? I don't think so. I don't think you will, because they're not free to play games, are they? I don't think Grounded is free to play. I think you have to buy it. Same thing for Sea of Thieves. I think is free to play. I'm not sure. They both could be. I'm not sure. But at this stage in the Switch's life cycle, are you going to get a bunch of people that's just going to make it overwhelming decision for Microsoft to continue putting third-party games out there, or games as a third-party publisher? I don't think so. These are not the games that do that. And then you have Hi-Fi Rush going to PlayStation 5, I think. Is it PS4 as well? I don't know. Again, that's not a game that's going to move Sony fans, Sony fanboys in particular. Sure, some of them will buy it, but you're not going to move millions of units of Hi-Fi Rush at this point. I just don't see that. And then you have Pentiment, which is like the most obvious one, to where it's like, okay, so Pentiment I think is going to the PS4 and Switch if I'm not mistaken. And again, it's a graphic novel made by a tiny team, I think 12 people. You're not moving the needle with these games. If you really want to gauge the audience on other platforms, you're going to pick bigger games. You're going to pick Forza. You're going to pick Halo. You're going to pick Starfield. Like, Starfield is like the obvious choice if you really want to gauge the audience on other platforms. Hellblade is available on PlayStation, the original one. Hellblade 2 would make way more sense to say, yeah, we're bringing that to other platforms. And they still could do that. I think Hellblade probably has the best chance of going multi-plat when it makes its run on Xbox. But that's a game. I mean, there's other games that aren't coming out this year that they could have used. Like I said, Forza. They could have had a Forza port already ready to go. Same thing for Starfield. They could have, because they were already working on Starfield for PS4 or PS5 before Microsoft bought them. So I'm sure there's some kind of infrastructure there that they could have put out the port, or at least announced it coming like the fall or something. Like these are the games you would use to gauge interest in, on Sony platforms. Like, not Pentiment, not Hi-Fi Rush, and nothing wrong with those games. I'm saying they're really tiny games. They're not games that are big enough to say we're going to move some numbers with these games, and that's going to prove to us that we should continue to do this. Like, if they really wanted to do this, just do it. Like, are they worried? And especially at this point, are they worried about fan backlash? Because they've done nothing. They've put out a nothing burger, and fans have lost their minds anyway. So fans are going to lose their minds regardless, certain fans. So why not just, if you really think you can make some money, put games out that you can actually make money on. A Starfield, I think, will do well on the PlayStation platform. Halo. Halo's free to play, the multiplayer. Put that out there. I mean, for me, that would be crazy because it's like that is a core Xbox franchise. It would be weird to put that out there when you're still making consoles, and you're still, trying to get people to come to your ecosystem. To put your core titles on everything seems a bit odd. As far as I'm concerned, PC is not. Obviously, they're all vying for your time, so they're competitors in some extent. But PC is not really a competitor to console, because if you're a console gamer, you don't care about PC, right? If you're a PC guy, you definitely don't care about console. So, sure, some people on the margins are gonna, go to PC, but even I play on PC too, but I haven't given up my console, so there's no reason for them to worry about the PC space, even though PC guys want to console war. And yes, you guys are trying to console war as well, when you're trying to make it seem that you're not, but you are. And yeah, that's a very weird stance or weird set of games to take, to say we're going to do these games and that's what is going to move us there. So yeah, I think this is all about the regulators. I think they're trying to appease regulators by saying, hey, look, we are putting games on other consoles. We're putting our core games on other consoles. See, we're not, the scary big keep everything, buy everything up and eat everything gaming company. We actually are playing nice with other companies. I think that's why they chose these games, because they're small games. They're not really going to move with the needle as far as losing fans and fan base. I think that's what's going on here. I think a lot of these guys have lost their minds over nothing, and they should reevaluate their stance, because a lot of these guys say they're gone, and they're gone for good over Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. Games that a lot of these guys didn't even touch or barely touched. So it's strange, but yeah, that's what it is. But I actually think this is not them moving to third party. I think they're trying to appease regulators so they can say, hey, we want to buy something else. Please don't give us the hard time that you gave us with Activision Blizzard. And I think that's what really is going on here. So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think they actually are going third party, or do you think there's some kind of a ploy to appease regulators like I do? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.